Hey everybody, what's up? Fred McKinnon here with eBusiness Online. I consult people and talk about selling on Amazon and selling on other third-party marketplaces and your own Shopify store, BigCommerce store, whatever your direct-to-consumer platform may be. I've been in this game for over 20 years and I really appreciate you following. Now today, I'm going to continue a series that I started. This is part 2, I guess, so now it's officially a series of something I'm doing as a seller, where I'm bringing a 40-foot container of product from China over to the United States, and how I'm managing that in light of all the changes that have happened here in the spring of 2024 with all of Amazon's new inventory placement fees and low inventory level fees and things like that. So if you go back, I launched just a few days ago, I launched a video about getting 40-foot containers to Amazon. You can see it on my channel there, and I'll have a link up here, where you can click on the link and actually go back and view the original video on my options here. And the whole point of that video was I was trying to give you the options that I have on how I as a seller, or you as a seller, would go about getting my 40-foot container of widgets from China into my Amazon account. And I talked about 2 different options I was considering. One was AGL, which stands for Amazon Global Logistics. And 2 is just using my normal freight forwarders and coming into my 3PL. So just to kind of back up a little bit on this video. And again, the original videos here, you can see that. But just to go back into that, AGL, Amazon Global Logistics, that wasn't going to solve like where I store my inventory. It was only going to solve the question of how I get that container, or less than container, maybe in your case if you're not doing a full container load. How I'm going to get that container from my manufacturer in China or wherever over to the United States. Okay, so that's where AGL comes in, Amazon Global Logistics. And then there was the question of where am I going to land that product? Am I going to land it at Amazon FBA, which goes straight into one of the Amazon FBA warehouses so that everything in that container is available to be shipped to customers? That was never an option for me because A, you can no longer send to only one location without paying inventory placement fees unless you go through AGL and AMP, Amazon Managed Placement, which I talk about in yet another video. So I'll link to all these previous videos, but there's a lot. If you missed the earlier videos on my channel about this, you may have to catch up. But anyway, AWD stands for Amazon Warehousing and Distribution, and that is where you can send everything to them in reserve storage. And from that reserve storage, they will then send your product into Amazon's fulfillment warehouses, or even other third-party fulfillment warehouses for you. And by going through that path, you don't have to pay all of these crazy new fees that they introduced in the spring. Now, my other option was to go to the 3PL that I use, which is Deliver. Now it's owned by Flexport, so now they just call it Flexport. So I'll try to refer to it as Flexport, but I keep using the word Deliver because that's what I'm used to. And also Flexport, it is the same company that's a big, huge global shipping logistics company. They just now own the logistics of the warehousing here in the United States, but it can bring some confusion. So if I say Deliver, I'm talking about Flexport. And if I say Flexport, I'm talking about Deliver. All right, so that was my other option. So I told you in the video that we talked about earlier that, you can see it looks like this. It's on my channel. If you hadn't seen that, I encourage you to go back and watch that. And this applies to you whether you're bringing in a full container worth of product or if you're just bringing in less than container load, something like that. But I was struggling between which option I was going to choose. And so the update is I chose the option to use my own freight forwarder. They're fantastic. So if you need a good freight forwarder, reach out to me. I'll give you my freight forwarder. They're amazing. I don't get any kickbacks, no affiliate, no referral, anything for referring Abby, who is a rock star. She nails it, hits it out of the park on every single shipment. Anyway, if you need that contact, hit me up in the comments. I'll take care of you there. I decided to use them to pick up the container and bring it across the ocean and to land it at Deliver at my 3PL. And then the reason from there, let me back up. The main reason I did that, I had decided I'm going to just go all in with Amazon. I decided I'm going to pay a little extra money for Amazon Global Logistics to take care of the whole thing, right? All right. But to do that, I had not yet set myself up in Amazon's Global Logistics. I had not set up my profile yet. And one of the things you have to set up in the profile is your importer of record. And that's where you, the seller, are identifying yourself as the importer of record. It has a lot to do with like how the taxes and the duties are paid, who excuse me, who Customs and Immigration is determining is actually that importer of record, things like that. So the importer of record, I had to pause in case this audio just jumps from one thing to another. I started coughing like crazy because drinking too much coffee this morning. And coffee's not good on the vocal cords when you're trying to do a video. All right, so I had to set up my profile. And in that, I had to set up my importer of record. You know, and you're giving them your tax ID and your corporate information. And they had to verify that with some official paperwork. And I submitted it well over a week ago. And for a week, it sat pending review. No action, nothing. I couldn't get anybody to review my documents and approve it. Meanwhile, the factory's going, hey, we got your widgets ready. They're on the dock, and we got to get these things out of the way. We need you to pick up your goods. So I'm kind of stressing out. You're like, hey, I'm going to give you guys a chance, Amazon, but you got to help me out. You got to approve my paperwork. Well, long story short, over a week went by, and still my importer of record was pending review. Amazon has people whose sole job is to email you, to cold call you, to email you, to get you to sign up for Amazon Global Logistics, to get you to use their shipping service. And in my experience, you know, they email you, you write them back. All they care about is getting you on a call, right? They want to book an appointment to tell you about it, and then there's just not a lot of help. So this guy like emailed me multiple times a week for a year. And finally, I'm like, yeah, let's talk. I booked an appointment with him, explained everything. And then when it's time to go, I'm like, hey, buddy, I can't get anybody to approve my paperwork. No answer. So finally I gave up. And I reached out to Abby at my freight forwarder. Well, and her price was better to begin with, right? So I was like, okay, I'm ready. You're going to take care of this. We're going to ship it to deliver. Boom. She was right on it. Right now, you know, that 40-foot container is literally like being floor loaded overseas in China. 40-foot containers being floor loaded. It's going to go on the boat, I believe, on Monday, and it's on its way. So that's why I chose to not go with Amazon Global Logistics, AGL, because I just couldn't get it done. And even this morning, I sent the paperwork that they wanted. There was some confusion over my corporate name and my trade, my doing business as name. And I've imported for a decade and not had to go through all these hoops. But I'm having to jump through all these hoops. It's still not finalized yet. So I'm still working with Amazon to try to get my importer of record profile set up so that in the future I have the option. But what I'm going to do, long story short, I am shipping it now on my own carrier over the ocean, and it's going to land at Flexport's Reserve Storage, which is in Fontana, California. All right. So now the question is, how do I get into FBA? All right. And I can do what Flexport always does and just create a shipment to FBA and do it inside of Deliver and have Deliver drop a couple of pallets, you know, from the reserve storage into Amazon FBA. The problem with that is that's what I would have always done in the past, and that's what I did last time this 40-foot container came in. But now, you know, if I'm going to have to choose between shipping to 5 different locations, which is very expensive when you're doing freight, or ship to 1 or 2 locations and pay a premium in inventory placement fees. I don't like that. So what I've decided to try is this. Get ready for it. I'm going to land all the product at Deliver. I showed you in that previous video, the one that I keep referencing that looks like this. I showed you in that video all the cost and how everything adds up, what all the costs and everything else is. Again, you can find that video on my channel. I'll link to it in the show notes. I'll make it pop up here, you know, on the top of the screen where you can click on it, make it easy for you. But I showed you how the cost of actually receiving that container were about the same. I believe Deliver's going to charge me $600 or $700 maybe flat rate for the entire thing. Plus I'll have to pay for the pallets that they're going to palletize it. And then I'll begin to pay per pallet. All right. Instead of shipping it in 5 different shipments into Amazon, paying, all that freight, or one shipment and then paying inventory placement fees, here's what I'm going to try. I'm going to try to drip from inventory reserve storage at Deliver, from Flexport's reserve storage, into AWD, Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. The location of the Fontana, California Deliver Reserve Storage Warehouse and the West Coast Amazon AWD location is very close. And I've already run some scenarios, and it's like less than $100 in freight charge for me to move 4 or 5 pallets from reserve storage at Deliver into AWD. And once it gets to AWD, I'm set, because then it's going to auto replenish into Amazon fulfillment. No low inventory fees, no inventory placement fees. I'm gold. All right. So I want to come back and talk about, some of the fees that I addressed in the other video. As you can see here, this is the AWD fees. And so when I send it from Deliver, now my whole 40-foot container is in Fontana, California at Deliver's Reserve Storage. Now I'm going to pay Deliver to send it to Amazon Warehousing and Distribution. And from there, they will be the ones that send it to FBA. Now, there's some extra cost in there, but I believe the cost will be worth it. Now, initially, when I talked about this in the earlier video, I talked about the difference in the base rates and the integrated rates. And the way you get this integrated rate, which is a significant discount, is you have to either use Amazon Global Logistics, which in my case, I desperately tried to use, but they still haven't improved my paperwork as an importer of record. So screw it. I'm not using them. Okay. I either have to use that, or you can also use partner carrier services domestically. So what that means is domestically here's the eligibility for those rates. And domestically, 1 LTL or SPD, small parcel like UPS, shipment creating using partner carrier program service inbounded to AWD in the last 30 days to become eligible. So as long as I'm dripping LTL or even a few master cartons via UPS, SPD into AWD every 30 days, then I'm going to be qualified then for those integrated rates. Again, and those integrated rates are the cheaper ones that you can see here at the top of the screen. So that's what I'm going to do. And there will be a part 3. We'll talk about what happens when this container is going to be, 40 days or so, when this container gets landed and gets unloaded at Deliver, Flexport. I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. So just kind of stay in touch on this series. I'll make a playlist about it here on the channel. But that's what's going on with it. Lots of stuff to talk about. And, there's a whole lot of backstory to it. But this is just a real life example of, as an e-com seller, what it's like to be bringing in goods. And again, this is a full 40-foot container. So it actually is pretty significant. But you might just be bringing in less than a container. I'm not sure exactly what you'll be doing, but definitely a way to do it. I'm sure you got questions. Hit me up in the comments. I monitor these comments. I love to see the comments. I love to see it. As I wrap up, I always like to wrap up by thanking you for watching this video and for watching my channel and asking you to subscribe. I really want to see this channel grow. It's grown really pretty amazing here just since I started it a couple of months ago. So if you like this content, hit the subscribe button. As soon as you've subscribed, tap the little notification bell so that you can get notified when I put out a new video. It helps like crazy for you to thumbs up this video. Shows that you liked it, shows that you engaged with it, and it even helps more if you add a comment. And speaking of comments, one thing I'd like to do is about once a week, I want to do a live stream. I want to go live and I want to answer your questions. So if you have a question for me, then I'd like you to submit that question in comments. you can put it in the comment in the YouTube video. It doesn't have to have anything to do with this particular topic, but just say, hey, Fred, I'd love for you to do a video about X or about this or that. I'd love for you to answer this question. I'll compile those. I'm going to put them on videos on this channel and help you out. So also, as you know, eBusiness Online, that's e-businessonline.com. We are full service Amazon agency, full service e-commerce agency. What's that mean to you? It means if you need someone to come in and do the heavy lifting for you and to manage and operate and run your Amazon channel for you or your Walmart channel for you, we would love to partner up with you and help make that happen. Maybe you're not at that point. Maybe you just need some counseling. I always say counseling instead of consulting because, man, in this stuff, it feels like legit counseling. Consulting. Maybe you just need one-off consulting. Those options are available also on the website, e-businessonline.com. Hit it up. Hey, thanks again for following. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't tapped that subscribe button right now, thumbs up this video and leave a comment. Let me know you're listening, where you're listening and watching from. I appreciate it.